and I had a lot of animosity towards him. So switch from a guy who you kind of hate to a guy you really respect. It was a little different, but I took that hate in with me to the gym, and I got ready with it. So too bad, it had to be the zombie that I take it out on, but I think it'll work out either way.
What's the thought process like for you? I mean, the last fight was zombie. I mean, you guys banged each other up a lot. You're probably going to come out of this fight hurt, banged up, injured, whatever. What is that like for a fighter's mindset? I'd be thinking, I want an easy fight, not something like this.
Like my mindset every time I go into a fight and my preparation for a fight is to get ready for war. Not just because I like those type of fights, it's just that's my fighting style. I've always been the guy in the gym that gets in trouble for trying to suck a guy into a brawl. And, I've worked on a couple different things this time around, and I feel really good, really confident. I think my kickboxing game has improved since the last time we fought. And I think the last fight was harder on him than it was on me physically. So, I'm just eager to see which guy comes out.
Is there any pressure to put on another fight like that? People always say, like, Bonner Griffith 2 wasn't that great.
You think back to some of the rematches that lived up to the first one. I don't put that pressure on myself. I think that if I try to go out there and make a war, just like the last one, it won't play out. So, we're wired the same, me and him. If you hit him, he wants to hit you back. You hit me, I want to hit you back. So I think if we just go out there and play each other's game, we'll fall right into each other's traps.
You said Nam was disrespectful. Obviously, he thought he won the fight. What was it that he said that you felt was disrespectful about?
After the fight, he was saying, making videos about judging, and the guy that he had playing me in the video was like, some fat dude that was throwing punches all crazy and stuff. And to me, I took that fight on 8 days' notice to help him put food on his family's table, and taking a fight like that in the UFC, let alone in any show, sometimes it's you don't do that. Not in a big show. You don't take a fight on 8 days' notice. I did it because, I thought I could knock Nam out, and it was greed. It was right around Christmas time. I figured, hey man, it's a good payday. I'll probably knock this guy out. Let's do it. And I almost paid the ultimate price for it. And it's something I'll never do again. But now, instead of taking short notice fights, I'm just going to be prepared all the time. Because I know if they call me, I'm going to say yes, so it's my job to be prepared.
And getting back to the zombie war, what was the game plan heading into that fight? Obviously, we saw what happened when you guys got in there. But what was your thoughts, your game plan going into it?
It was real funny. Leading up to that fight, as I told everybody, I told Cowboy, my brother, my mom, everybody. I was like, me and this dude are going to go to the hospital together after this fight. I know him. I'd seen him fight before. I'd seen some of the shots that he could take and give out, and I knew he wouldn't move. He'd just stand right in front of me. So, I called it before it happened. And, of course, we're working different things in preparation for him. Not takedowns, like in this fight. Of course, my wrestling game has come around a lot, and I'm eager to show that, man. I think progression is a big part of the sport, and I got to show people that I'm progressing, or else I'll just get left behind.
You talked about fans judging comments, and people use you a lot when they're talking about judges because you've been in a lot of controversial fights, But what is that? I mean, do you feel like there's a problem with judging? Do you feel like it's something with your style? Why are you involved in these fights?
Like Diego Sanchez and Martin Campman. You watch a fight like that, Campman definitely landed the cleaner shots. Diego brought the fight up. Had Diego not been there, that would have been a fight where Campman, wins on points. Diego went out there and got crazy and ended up swaying the judges into 2 rounds. And I agree with that. I think if a guy's in there trying to press the fight, that's what people want to see. That's what they turn their TV on for, and that's what they pay their bills for, and that's what they pay their ticket for. Guys who play it safe, take somebody down, hold them down for a whole round, I don't want to pay to see that. I want to see 2 guys get out there and get after it. I want to see guys look like Rocky Balboa after the fight. I like to be that guy, So, I think, judges are right. If you're pushing the fight and you're being aggressive, you should win the fight. You shouldn't be the guy sitting back.
Does it bug you that people have those comments, or do you just try to put it, on the side?
For every bad comment that I read, I've never heard. For every bad comment that I read, I hear 10, 20 great ones. So, the UFC Fan Expos, everywhere where I'm greeted by great people, I feel like the guy sitting behind the computer talking mess doesn't mean that much to me. You know what I mean? It's the people who go to the shows, who watch the fights religiously. Those are the people that I care about, and those are the ones I'm putting on the show for.
When things turn into a slugfest like the first one, I mean, are there certain things you're consciously thinking about, like where am I in the cage, like what is he doing, or does it just turn into a just throw your hand as much as you can?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me, what were you thinking at this point? What were you thinking at that point? You don't think, you know, and that's where I get trouble. You know, coach is like, you're so smart, put things together. Man, it's hard to deal with you. You know, I can put Cowboy in there 9 times out of 10. If you're thinking, you're getting the better of him. He's a tough guy to get the better of. So, like when he sucks you into his plan and gets you to stop thinking, I mean, everything you do is completely wrong. You still do it okay, but it's still wrong. So in a fight like him, you know, I don't remember the first and third round. I remember moments in the fight, you know, where stuff would be happening. I remember one time, I believe it was towards the end of the second round, I was like, you know what? You've been hitting me a lot. I'm going to drop my hands and I'm going to let him hit me a couple times, just to mess with him mentally. So I stepped back. I remember I put my hands down and I'm like smiling. He hits me, he rings off like 4 good shots, and I was like, oh shit, this is a bad idea. You know, and I remember thinking that during the fight, and was like, oh, I got to start doing something. But you know, it's just funny situations that happens in fights and stuff where you think of doing something cute and you pay for it, and that definitely was the case that time.
Do your coaches harp on you to be more technical at all, or do they like the draw?
They kill me, man. I'm probably the guy that gets in trouble the most at the gym because I'll go to the heavyweight class, you know, spar with the 170, 185 guys because the lighter weight guys, some of them won't spar with me in the gym just because they're like, he's out to get me. You know, he tries to knock everybody out. It's not that. I just feel like if we're wearing 16-ounce gloves and headgear, you should be able to cut loose on each other. You know, we fight with 4-ounce gloves. So I'll go to the heavyweight classes and I'll spar with some of the 185ers. Of course, Carlos Condit was just in here. He's one of my favorite sparring partners. And those guys will tell you, you know, they're like, man, you know, you get in so much trouble for coming in here, but we're glad you come to our class because you bring the best out of us. So I definitely do take an earful from Greg, but, you know, I'll make it work.
Last time you had a prediction with Corey and Zombie that you're both going to end up in the hospital. Got any kind of prediction for Saturday?
Yeah, you know, this time I think it's going to be a different fight. We both felt each other's power. We both felt what we could do. Of course, I broke my hand in the first fight in the very first round. Ended up breaking it really bad towards the end of the fight. If my hand holds up this time around, I don't think it's going to go as far as it did last time. I feel a lot more confident coming to this fight.
So you think you're going to knock him out first round?
I don't know if you know, he's one of those guys who's tough to put away. I'd say it's going to be some type of finish within the second round.
Thanks, Leonard. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, bro. Good luck, man.